Oh, hey. Hi, my name is Brian Wesley Johnson, and welcome to another beautiful Soulivity weekend. Hey everybody, I am so excited about our new show today. We've got some exciting things to share with you. First and foremost, we're going to do a little traveling. We're going to go to one of my very special places on the planet, but I'm not going to tell you too much about that yet. You're going to have to wait for that, because even more special, I had a great chat with my new dear friend, Michael Clinton. Michael Clinton is a true Renaissance man. He's an author. He's a photographer. He's a world traveler. He's even a marathoner, y'all. He's run marathons on like 7 continents. So he is an extraordinary person, and we had a fantastic chat about his new book. And this book is very special. It's one of those things that you go out and buy that will really help you re-envision yourself, reimagine yourself in a different way, and can really help you create your life of joy, peace, harmony, and happiness. So enjoy my little chat with Michael, and I'll see you back in just a few. Bye. Michael, so glad that you're here on Soulivity Weekend.
Brian, it's so great to be with you. I love everything Soulivity stands for, so I'm honored to be here as one of your guests that you're talking to.
Oh, thank you so much. I am looking forward to talking to you about roar. And I must say it like that because that's what it invokes in me as I've read through the book and the concepts in the book that are so important for us to know, feel, and integrate into our lives. I want to first start out by reading a quick quote from the introduction. My mother was an English major, and so she was always big on reading the preface, the introductions, and then the suffix at the end, right? And there's a beautiful quote in the beginning of the book that says, if you open yourself up to the possibilities that are in front of you in all areas, from love to work to realizing the true you, you can successfully leap into a new chapter of your life. This is so important. But my question to you is, when did you know that you wanted to make a significant change in your own life? When did that moment where you said, you had the aha kind of moment?
Well, I had a very long and successful career in the magazine publishing business. 40 years, I had some amazing experiences. I helped our team launched Oprah's magazine. We launched HGTV and Food Network. We published Esquire, and I was the longtime publisher of GQ. So I had a really rich experience. But when I sort of knew in my internal clock that I was sort of ready to go to the next place, um, when I did my homework, what I learned, Brian, is everything that was being written about was about winding down. And I wanted to take the philosophy that we could wind up. Because if you're 50 and healthy or 60 and healthy, accent on healthy and taking care of yourself, you can live another 20, 30 years. So there are lots of possibilities for you. And that's what I wanted to focus on.
Wow, amazing. And it's so necessary. We're talking offline about the need for people to create a new normal in their own lives. And and what I mean by that, everybody, is you're born into a situation, into a life experience that is dictated by your own parents' journey. The new normal is about you creating the life that you want based upon what your internal awareness is telling you in terms of your creativity, your passion, your purpose, all these different things that you've kind of come into awareness as you've moved into your more adult life. Michael, I mean, people really need to know that roar isn't just, I know, you got songs out there, roar, and empowerment and those kind of things. That's part of what you're talking about. But it's more than just an attitude, right? Can you tell us what roar means, what it actually stands for?
Sure. Yeah, thank you. It's an acronym. So each letter stands for something. One is, the first R is reimagine yourself. What is your favorite future? I mean, you talk about beginnings. I was a product of a very poor working class family, inner city high school in Pittsburgh, no money, no education. So I had to figure out what was my favorite future, and education was my path. O is not just own who you are, but own your numbers. Own your health numbers, your financial numbers, your final number. I mean, go to 90 and work backwards. What legacy, what contribution did you make to your family or community? A is your action plan, and there's a great part in the book, as you know, called the life layering process, which I think is a great formula for people. And the final R is reassess your relationships, because it's the people that you have around you that are going to help you fulfill your next new normal and where you want to go in your life. You've got to get rid of the toxicity, the toxic people, and you've got to surround yourself by, I like to say, Team You, YOU, who are helping you get there. So it's a four-part process with lots of inspirational stories. I interviewed 40 amazing people who found their new normal. And I also have a lot of tools and resources for people to tap into to find a practical path to get there.
Wow, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And each step in roar is vital to creating this new life. Let's dig in a little deeper. The first step is reimagine yourself, right? When I think about this, I'm thinking that maybe as part of this, you're digging deeper into your own self-awareness, right? You're going a little deeper into what does life mean for me? What do I want out of life? This can be hard to do, right? I mean, what are some of the things that, now people, you got to go read the book. So we're only going to give you a little bit. But what are those things that you kind of tell people, like, okay, should be your first step, into reimagining who you are?
So let's pick 45 to 50 years old, so to speak. You are about to go into the second half of your life. You've lived a life, you've lived an adult life, you've made good decisions, bad decisions. I don't like the word midlife crisis. I like the word
Yeah,
midlife awakening, because
yeah.
you've kind of awakened to who you are and what you want and what's important to you. The 40 people I interviewed, I would say they all spent a good year or more digging deep into themselves. What did
Mm,
they want to do every day in work? What did they want to do every day in relationships? And by the way, this was a mix of people. Some of them were only high school graduates, some of them were college graduates. So it was a real mix of people that are in the book. So there's something for everyone. What really matters is assessing where you are right now and what your dreams and your visions are moving forward. Because now, with being healthy and living longer, you have the opportunity to have a whole new second life that may be, making those decisions sometimes is hard, to leave a relationship or leave a job or move to another place. But you have a long life ahead of you. So you can don't think you're stuck. Put in the time and put in the vision to think that through. Well, one of the things I like to do, Brian, is I keep a yearly
Mm.
journal and I write down all the things that I'm hoping to accomplish that year, and I
Wow.
check on it once a
Wow.
month, the beginning of the month. And if I'm not doing something, who am I going to blame? I have to blame myself, right? So, so create a vision board, create a vision diary, really think about what it is you want to do, and then start to develop the practical steps to get there. And there are a lot of great examples in the book of people who've done that.
Wow. I love it. And coming up,
So I had built a lot of my action plans prior to stepping into this next phase of my life.
so stay tuned for more Soulivity Weekend.
Hi there, Sheila Applegate here with some exciting news. I've joined the incredible Soulivity team as the host of the new Consciously Awesome live show, where I will be sharing insights to help you discover your full brilliance and claim the vibrant life you deserve. So tune in every Wednesday right here on Soulivity TV to join the fun, and remember to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an awesome week, and I will see you on Wednesday.
Life is full of moments. And when sickness breaks your momentum, from the 5 a.m. stomach bug, or stress and anxiety at work, don't forget you have Teladoc. Great care options by phone, video, or app. 24/7 access to doctors. And access to therapists 7 days a week. From anywhere you are. Day or night. Whatever it is, we're always ready to help. So you can get back to enjoying life's best moments faster. Life is good. Enjoy it well.
Visit a doctor today without even leaving your home. For as little as $19.95 per month for a family plan, you get access to board-certified physicians as often as you need it. And there's $0 for medical visits anytime, anywhere. Register now by visiting soulivity.com/health perks. That's soulivity.com/health perks. You can find all the Satana products at our Go shop on Soulivity at go.soulivity.com now. Shop for beauty products, skincare, hair care. It is all there at the Go shop. Go shop Soulivity. And now back to more from Soulivity Weekend. Own who you are. I love it. I love it. I love it. Tell us how we can deepen our connection with what's true about ourselves. I know you go into very in-depth here. These are these high-level concepts, right? That I think are like just the beginnings and the pieces of how people can move and shift. So what is that for you? I mean, how did you go through this part of your connection?
Well, part of that in owning who you are is the situation that you're in right at the moment. So one of the things, we did a survey in the book, a national survey. We had a broad over 600 people responded. They were from all walks of socioeconomic life. And one of the top things that they report is, I wish I had done more with my education, so I had a better profession or career. And what I like to say is, today, there's so much money around for people in midlife. There are Pell Grants and federal grants.
Yeah.
And there are some states where if you're 60, you can go to college for free.
Yeah.
There are certificates. There's something called MOOCs, Mass Open Online Courses, that are free.
Yeah.
So you have to take the real brutal assessment as to where you are and how you move yourself forward in your own dream and in your own vision. And that also includes the things that bring you joy and happiness in your life. I mean,
Right.
Women are now having babies at 50.
Exactly.
If you've delayed motherhood because you didn't find the right partner for whatever reason. And so what are the ways that you can either have a child at 50 or adopt at 50, if that's truly, truly what you want? But once again, it gets back to your own personal North Star as to what's right for you.
Right. Again, such good advice. The next is, I kind of think of this as again, it's the action step, right? It's the movement, it's the verb between the first two steps of creating what this being state is, right? Who do you want to be? How do you want to feel? What's that look like? And now you got to move, right? You get the message, you got to do. It's act on what's next for you. This reminds me of taking the leap, right? You're going to take the leap into this thing. What was it like for you when you realized this? Okay, I'm going to take this leap into doing this passion-filled, purpose-filled, best life that you knew was there. You just had to now take the action to move. What was that like for you?
Well, what it was like is realizing that when I left my day-to-day job, and I think a lot of people think about this, they think retirement is going to be a panacea. And I think retirement is an old concept, because you can only, go hang out with the grandkids and play golf, the proverbial golf game, for a while, and then you start getting really bored, right? So I knew that I was a very motivated person, and I wanted to learn more. So I went back to school in my 60s.
Wow.
And got a master's degree in my 60s in nonprofit philanthropy, because I wanted to do a lot more in the nonprofit space and giving back, and working in helping people and from all walks of life in all different forms. So I'm on several nonprofit boards, including the board at Pace University in New York City, and we focus on first generation college students, primarily kids who are in underprivileged communities and neighborhoods, and not just New York, but around the country. And we like to get kids into a track to be first generation college graduates. So that's me. I'm one of those people. So I like to really spend my time helping to do that. And so, I identified my passions that I knew I was going to move into. One of them was being more giving back nonprofit, but I also obviously wrote this book and wanted to become a voice in the space. I'm a big traveler. I'm a marathon runner. I'm a photographer. So I had built a lot of my action plans prior to stepping into this next phase of my life. So, it's building blocks. And I'll go back to this chapter of life layering, because you can start that at any time to build a layer. Pick a hobby that you really love and start building it now, so that you can, have a very rich life in that experience moving into your future. And the book explains that.
Yeah, we two thoughts about this. First, we share a similar path to doing what we love. A lot of people didn't know that some of the things that I was a musician for many years, playing in my hometown and bands and that kind of thing. As part of that, there was the creative side of doing graphics and promotions and all that. in addition to the day job, which was in business development. But I also was into photography. I also was into, I was also into all these other things that surrounded the idea of creating the roar experience in my life. But until I went through this process that you kind of described very beautifully, I didn't understand, oh, this is why I put all these tools in the tool belt, so that when I step out, I have the skills and the resources and stuff to do it. So I really appreciate you talking about that in those terms, because I think people will you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. That there's things that you have learned over your experience that you can bring into this new experience today. The other thing I wanted to ask you about was, I define, you have your passion, right? Which is this thing that you get up in the morning, you're excited to do. You don't have the dread, right, of going to a job. You want to, so you're like excited. But I look at purpose as your passion realized through service, right?
Right.
Because I really feel as though your purpose is actualizing the physical realm of the purpose in action to help other people. And so I thought it was very interesting that as part of your journey, that the service part of there was very important to you. Can you just speak a little bit about that?
Sure. Before I do, I want to say how brilliantly you articulated the previous sentiment, because I think that example of the tools in the tool belt was really well put and understandable for people, because we all have interests and passions and creativity that we can tap into, and those can be lifelong pursuits. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about it. It's fulfilling to us individually, right?
No.
I think on the service front, it was always part of our family ethos. So, from a very young age, I was always engaged in some form of community service that was important to me. And so I sort of carried that through into my adult life, always being engaged with boards. I was the chairman of the Volunteers of America New York chapter, which is one of the largest provider of services to homeless people in New York City. Wow. And, which is a big issue in the country, not just in our city. And so many things that, the homeless are oftentimes maligned in ways that are unfair, because there are, mental concerns or drug addiction, and getting people on a path is important. And so our service was doing that. I was also on the board of the Starlight Foundation, which is like Make-A-Wish, granting wishes to kids, who have illness. So it was always just a part of my DNA, and I've always felt that as human beings, it is required of us to give service to our community, broadly defined, in whatever form it can be. Whether it is volunteering in a soup kitchen, or whether it is funding a foundation, whatever your capacity is, it's beholden on us to all give back. And I think that's such an important part of who we are. And there's some great stories in the book about people who really have done it in all kinds of unique and different forms.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I really believe that part, when we're talking about actualizing ourselves in service, grounds us in that what we're doing really, really matters. It matters. It matters to my own life, and it matters to the people who I'm affecting through my actions, right? This sense of community, right?
Right.
And coming up, reassess your relationships. Woo!
It's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big
one. It's a big one.
So stay tuned for more Soulivity Weekend.
Life is full of moments. And when sickness breaks your momentum, from the 5 a.m. stomach bug, or stress and anxiety at work, Don't forget you have Teladoc. Great care options by phone, video, or app. 24/7 access to doctors. And access to therapists 7 days a week. From anywhere you are. Day or night. Whatever it is, we're always ready to help. So you can get back to enjoying life's best moments faster. Life is good. Enjoy it well.
Visit a doctor today without even leaving your home. For as little as $19.95 per month for a family plan, you get access to board-certified physicians as often as you need it. And there's $0 for medical visits anytime, anywhere. Register now by visiting soulivity.com/health perks. That's soulivity.com/health perks.
Are you ready to take that first step towards true, unwavering inner happiness? Are you like thousands of people who have everything they need, not want, but need, and still can't seem to find happiness and fulfillment in their lives? If so, the Steps to Happiness show is for you. On my show, you will learn about the principles and practices that lead to true inner happiness. Because guess what? It isn't found in our external environment, but within ourselves instead. Together with my guests, we will explore the latest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being practices. And together, we'll advise you on the actionable steps you can take towards a happier, more fulfilled, authentic life. So I invite you to join me each week on Soulivity TV on the Steps to Happiness show with me, Teresa Greco.
You can find all the Satonic products at our Go shop on Soulivity at go.soulivity.com now. Shop for beauty products, skincare, hair care. It is all there at the Go shop. Go shop Soulivity. And now back to more from Soulivity Weekend. Another important concept, which is the last one, and reassess your relationships. Woo!
It's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's a big one.
You know, I when I read this concept in the book, immediately I thought about, this is all about the tribe that you keep, right? The people who are in your circle, you know, are if you have people who at that time in their lives are limiting, they have limited beliefs, they're in lack, that is not helpful. That is not helpful.
Right.
So you got to think about, you love them, but it's not helpful to your own journey. Talk a little bit about that from your own experience. You don't have to give names. We can talk about that offline. I might have to, come across some of these people, but
Well, first of all, it's very much when you reassess your relationships, one of the core fundamentals of that, of course, is reassessing your relationship with yourself, right? And that's a hard thing to do too, because we don't like to admit our faults and our weaknesses and all the things that, and we're all, we all have flaws, and we have to acknowledge them and be, proud of them, and also fix them and work on them if they're negative. But then, that your closer ins, your family, your tribe, as you say, your posse, I've had to edit out, if you will, members of my own family who I felt were, destructive, people in the context of the dynamic of the family or for me. And I think that's hard to do because, the old saying, you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. But sometimes, you can also pick your family in terms of the ones who are going to be there for you. So, and then it goes from there to, of course, work and work environments and, are you with the right people and the right mentors and feel good and positive in the environment. And then it's the broader community at large. It's your neighborhood, it's your social organizations, it's your church, it's the people who are around you and who are the ones who support you. Because I think when you're in midlife, my mother, when she was 64, asked my
Wow.
father for a divorce after 40 years. And, there were no other
Right.
people involved. She just wanted a different kind of life. It was interesting to see who rallied around her
Mhm.
and what people were threatened by her decision, what people supported her decision.
Yeah.
When you make that kind of decision at that point in life, it's a hard decision. And so keeping your antenna up around you as to who's going to be there to support you, even your own children, some might and some not. So when you're in midlife and you make a big course correction, you're upsetting
Yeah.
an apple cart that people have about you, even about yourself. And so, it is your decision that you want to make. So find those people who are going to be, as they say, the wind beneath your wings to get you to the other side of where you want to go. So yeah, it's tough, but it's necessary. Courage.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, I love the fact that you're connecting the relationship, the inner relationship that we have that goes back to the beginning, right? Reimagining yourself, right? You're preparing yourself for this journey, and the last quote unquote step. My guess
Yeah.
is you'll be kind of jumping from step to step to step to step. That it's not this linear kind of thing. That part of that reimagining is also deepening, your personal relationship, which then will affect your outer relationships as well, right? Because it's an inside out job, not an outside in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's not linear, it's fluid, and you're moving through these processes, at all times. But you said something earlier, which I think is so true, and I remember having this discussion with many other people. This notion of the new normal, your life is always changing. And
Yes.
so think about people who have had children and the kids are grown up and all of a sudden you're an empty nester. That's your new normal,
Yeah.
right? And so that's one phase of your life. Then you have another new normal when you decide to, leave your job or your spouse leaves you or passes away or you're elderly and you can't take care of yourself. So life is a constant adjustment to reimagining and identifying what your favorite future is in this journey. And what's interesting is that with this 90-year life potential, this notion of 100-year-old people is for your children and the children born today, living to be 100 is not going to be the novelty it is today.
No.
It's in the year 2100, it's projected there will be 5 million Americans 100 years old. Today there are 90,000. So the life cycles that we know are all going to change, and we have an opportunity to live a different kind of life when we're 50, 60, 70 that our parents didn't have. And that's a gift. It's a gift of time. It's a gift to us to be able to do the things. I like to say, go back to your younger self and reclaim something that you left on the shelf. And what is that thing that you left that you might pick up and begin to reignite? And it can be a creative skill, it can be an interest in giving back, it can be whatever it is. But go back to your younger self because we all leave things behind, right?
Yes. Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That is such that man. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
One more question, but I want to set it up with this because I love this again. I love the pieces that you're putting together. And I'm going to go back to almost kind of like the beginning of our interview together. The message behind Roar is that you need to put your life on hyperspeed until your dying breath, regardless of when that may be. So that connects to you, what you were just talking about. And my question to you is, in addition to buying this book, because I want everybody to go out and get this today, please.
Thank you.
What can we do today to start to roar?
It's such a great question. I mean, I think what happens as you live longer, and you notice I don't use the words get older. I use the words live longer, because it's a positive framework. And we can go through language and images in the culture that hold us all back in ageist kind of ways. And by the way, that affects all of us, regardless of our gender or our race or our religious beliefs. You know, all of this affects the royal we, right?
Yes.
And so I think that, you know, literally, I call it, you know, in the morning, a gratitude morning. So in the morning, I'm grateful that I'm going to have another day.
Yeah.
I also think, what is it that I want to accomplish today? And I don't mean a work thing or getting the house painted or, you know, chores. I mean, what thing can I do today that is going to either give back to someone or affect someone's life or improve my own life in a broader way, and make that a daily ritual. And that begins to compound on itself. And if that notion, I met a wonderful woman who is a professor in Nevada. She was the first woman in her family to go to college. She's from Mississippi, a small town in Mississippi. And she's in her early 60s, and she made a decision to go back to her home in Mississippi, her hometown, which is a very, very underprivileged area. And she's made the decision she's going to run for Congress. And I said, wow, that's a big decision. And how did you come to that? And she said, every day, you know, I woke up and I thought about what is my next journey. And as she put those pieces together, she realized she wanted to go back to where she came from. She wanted to make a contribution. She determined that her contribution was going to be through policy, and she decided that she was going to run for office. And she hasn't ignited her campaign yet, but I think when you go through that daily process, you decide what it is you want: work, lifestyle, relationship. And so that's how you can roar. You can start with a small R, and then it becomes a big capital R to move yourself forward.
Wow. Thank you for that. Michael, thank you for being with us. Oh man, would you come back and talk to us sometime?
Anytime. Sure thing.
Oh,
I
man,
loved it.
Thank
it was a great conversation.
The book is Roar Into your second half of your life before it's too late, with Michael Clinton.
There you go.
Thank you again, man. And
Thanks, Brian.
We'll be right back with more Soulivity Weekend.
Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame, living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. Soulivity is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us. A place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime.
Thank you for tuning in to Beauty and Gratitude with D'Angelo Thompson. That's me. We're going to focus on beauty from the inside out and gratitude being the cornerstone of your life. I will have amazing guests from all walks of life, from wellness experts to beauty, tech, fashion, you name it, they will be here. And we have amazing names coming up in the near future. So tune in every 2 weeks, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Soulivity TV or Soulivity Magazine. Thank each of you for watching, and focus on life, focus on gratitude. Thank you.
Soulivity Magazine and Beyond Words Publishing want to remind you about the importance of continuing to follow public health guidelines to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your community. Please continue to wear a mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance. Please visit these sites for further information about how to stay safe from COVID-19 into the new year. Remember, love protects us. You can find all the Satonic products at our Go shop on Soulivity at go.soulivity.com now. Shop for beauty products, skincare, hair care. It is all there at the Go shop. Go shop Soulivity. And now back to more from Soulivity Weekend.
Hey, and welcome back to Soulivity Weekend. One of my favorite things to do on the planet is to travel. I mean, people who know me know that I get electric in airports. So I love going to see places and visiting new cultures. And so I wanted to show you a special place of mine. So enjoy. It's kind of funny. I've never thought I would do a video like this where I'm talking about, which a lot of my friends tell me is my favorite city in the world. And I decided to create something that would share why this city affects me the way that it does. So where do I start? I'll start by saying that my fascination with Paris was evident a long time ago. I remember my mother, actually she spoke French and she studied the French culture as part of her studies in terms of drama and music. In fact, there was at one point she was offered to study music here, I should say. And so as a little boy, I remember her singing songs like Frère Jacques, Dormez-vous, dormez-vous. And she would teach me how to sing in French, and I remember those days. So I guess the seed was there for me a long time ago, and it didn't become really evident until I started coming to Europe, traveling here, specifically for work. It was 2009, and I had been offered a position to work in Germany. Well, as part of working in Germany, The weekends were typically mine to do what I wanted to. And so I remember there was one time where I decided to hop on the train and come to Paris. I had never been here. I'd been wanting to come here. And the high-speed rail had just been put in. And so I decided that I was going to go to the City of Lights, make this fantasy come true. And so I hop on the train, as I said, and I come to Paris, and I get off at Gare du Nord, which is one of the main train stations here. And as soon as I walked out of the train station, actually, I would say when I was actually in the train station and I saw the beauty and majesty of this train station that is really old, and I saw the people, and I immediately fell in love with the city. The architecture, the people, and it was like I had come home, or at least a part of me came home. When I come to Paris, I typically stay in an apartment. The hotels here are fabulous and that kind of thing, but I find myself not enjoying the city as much because you're not living in the culture. You're not living amongst the natives. So you really don't get the total experience of the city itself. Well, one of the things I love to do is just walk. Just walk. And, I say to other people, when you come to Paris, outside of doing the normal things, going to Soulivity and, Les Eiffel, and those kinds of things, just meander, just walk. Spend a day walking. Don't even take the metro, though you should take the metro if you're in Paris. Just walk, and you undoubtedly will come across something that is magnificent or unusual or calming or peaceful. There's tons of little parks that are spread out within the city, and you can just pick one. You can sit down. You can grab some du pain or le fromage and just enjoy life. That's what a lot of Parisians do. They really enjoy life by just creating a work-life kind of balance where they're always at peace. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's things that are happening here, and people do protest, and they're very progressive when it comes to that. And people, making sure that their rights are intact. And there's the other part of their life where they are very passionate about living in all the aspects of life.
Stay tuned for more Soulivity Weekend. Soulivity Magazine and Beyond Words Publishing want to remind you about the importance of continuing to follow public health guidelines to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your community. Please continue to wear a mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance. Please visit these sites for further information about how to stay safe from COVID-19 into the new year. Remember, love protects us.
We work so hard sometimes. Isn't it time for a break? Take a walk or enjoy nature or maybe a leap or a ride or even a dip. Spending time with a friend or some time alone. Whatever it is, always spend time growing and learning with a Soulivity weekend. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on Soulivity TV. You can find all the Satana products at our Go shop on Soulivity at go.soulivity.com now. Shop for beauty products, skincare, hair care, it is all there at the Go shop. Go shop Soulivity. Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame, living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. Soulivity is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us. A place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime. And now back to more from Soulivity Weekend. One of my favorite things to do is to, as I'm walking, because that's probably my favorite thing to do, is just to walk the city, is to spend time around the bridges. Paris is known as the City of Light because of the many churches that are here that are from the Gothic design that have all these windows, but it's also known as a city of bridges. I believe there's over 20-something bridges, or even more than that, within the city, in all shapes and varieties. There's some over the canal, there's some over the Seine, and so spending time just walking and you know, one of my favorite movies is Sabrina. And of course there was a remake with Harrison Ford. And the female character, Sabrina Fair, talks to Harrison about, you know, you pick a bridge, you take out your journal, and you write and you talk to the river. And I agree with her when she says, whatever you talk about to the river is between you and the river. Good advice. I don't know, you know, specifically why this city affects me the way that it does. Maybe there was a past life where I was a Parisian or something, but whenever I come here, I feel very, very comfortable. And I immediately kind of fall into the rhythm and the heartbeat of the city. it was good sharing all this with you. I hope that you do make a trip to Paris soon. You will definitely not regret it. We work so hard sometimes. Isn't it time for a break? Take a walk or enjoy nature, or maybe a leap or a ride, or even a dip. Spending time with a friend, or some time alone. Whatever it is, always spend time growing and learning with a Soulivity weekend. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on Soulivity TV.
Maybe not so much in the UK and Ireland, but certainly in the United States, I would find that a lot of people use the word autism to describe someone who has an intellectual disability. Now let's just clear a few things up. Yes, those with intellectual disabilities can be autistic, although by and large, autistic people tend not to have intellectual disabilities. That's where it lies. And this is where the problem really is that a lot of people think that autism is an intellectual disability, whereas it isn't. What it is simply a different way of processing and communicating information. So if I were to ask and plead for one thing, it is please, please do not use the word autism to describe a learning disability, although I do keep in mind that there are those with learning disabilities who are autistic as well.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our show for today on Soulivity Weekend. Stay tuned for even more incredible things in the future. And until next time, this is Brian Westley Johnson saying thank you, and I'll see you later. Bye. Follow us on social media for giveaways, events, and a whole lot more.